So let's dig in. Now, I want to ask a question to anyone that's in a leadership role here. And this can look very different depending on what your leadership role is. It might be professionally, it might be something personally that you do, or something that you're volunteering in. But I want to ask you something uncomfortable. And I would love for you to think about the last time that you actually felt resilient. When did you feel resilient? And resilient meaning that you have been able to adapt to your environment, that you have been able to problem solve and bounce back, right? So this is not an absence of difficult things happening or challenges arising. This is how am I responding to those challenges? How am I adapting? How am I um, making a way through that is smart and not killing me in the process and still getting the results that I want, right? So that's my own personal definition of resilient. When's the last time that you felt that? It may be recent. It may have been a very long time. A lot of us are showing up in our leadership roles and not feeling resilient, but we're showing up every day. We are still trucking along and the train is still moving, but we don't feel like we're doing it well. We don't feel like we're adapting to the things that get thrown at us. In fact, we feel so overwhelmed by all of the things being thrown at us that we end up kind of shutting down. And then I want you to think about your team. If you have people that report to you, are they resilient? Would you consider them resilient? Are they showing up and adapting and being creative on how they get their results despite what comes their way? Listen, this is what nobody's talking about. Your team is a direct mirror to you and your own nervous system. How you show up, they mirror, right? There'll be a couple of exceptions here and there, but for the most part, as a whole, your team is responding and showing up as a mirror to what you are projecting and putting out in the world. And you've probably noticed when things are off. You know when you're off. You know when you're not working at peak. Maybe you've tried things with your team. Maybe you've tried changing some processes or different strategies. Maybe even thinking that there was something going on with the team that needed to be fixed, and so you did team building activities, or brought somebody in to come lead a training to help them, build up and develop some grit. And what's happening quietly without you in front of it is that they're doing the minimum. They're going through the motions. They're quiet. And you can probably pick up on their frustration, maybe even low key feeling resentful. You might be picking up on that. But it's because they're feeling like they're pulling the whole thing, right? Whatever you are showing up as and they're having to mirror and mimic, it takes that much more energy and that much more effort for them to do something different, right? So if you show up, and this, again, this is all leadership roles, right? If you show up grumpy or irritable or exhausted or tired or frustrated, it's very hard for someone else to be like Susie Sunshine and they're going to be in a great mood. The people match energy. So they're going to be, okay, well, I was feeling successful. I was feeling resilient. I was feeling capable. I was feeling like I can deal with the challenges that come in front of me. But when you come at me this way, now I'm doubting all of those things, right? Now I'm spending a lot of time having to get in my mindset. Again, this is your team thinking this, right? Did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? Am I going to get fired? Right? Like we live with those doubts and insecurities in our head. And so if our leaders are showing up not in their best, then we're going to take that on and absorb that and wonder how much of it is on our shoulders and how much of it is our fault, right? And then your team has to do that much more work to get themselves out of that mindset and out of that headspace. It's not easy. So, no wonder they're not able to do the things they need to do because they're spending all their energy trying to counterbalance how you show up, how you show up. Now, listen, you're not a robot. We're all going to have bad days. We're all not going to do things perfectly. We are always learning and always growing. And, but if you do a little bit of work on the front end to show up well, your ROI on that is going to be infinite for your team and for how things run in day-to-day operations at your organization. So you're blaming other people, and I just want to gently and lovingly tell you that it's you. You're looking in the wrong direction. I want you to be self-reflective here. Manager engagement globally has dropped to just 27%. Manager engagement globally has dropped to 27%. Our leaders are not engaged with their own growth and learning, with their own roles and responsibilities, and absolutely not with their team. Less than a third of our leaders are engaged in the workforce. And that translates to the role and the responsibility of resilience being on your shoulders, being something that is your responsibility, your energy, your presence, your state, how you show up. Neuroscience actually tells us, I am not 100% sure how to pronounce this guy's name, but Dr. Sagal Barricade, I believe. But his research found that employees are significantly more likely to mirror the emotional tone of their leader than their peer, right? So, how you show up and how engaged you are is going to be having an actual physical, psychological impact on your team and how well they show up. So when you walk in and you're tense or you're rushed or you're overwhelmed, their nervous system is going to sync with yours. It just does. It's biology. And your team is showing you a reflection of yourself. So if there are things that are not sitting right or not working the right way, you've got to at least start here. How am I creating this? Where is the self-fulfilling prophecy that I am facilitating something in my team that I don't like? It's very easy to blame the other people. It's very easy to say, oh, well, Johnny's just always upset, or Susan's going through a divorce, or so and so just had a baby and they're exhausted, or so and so's just dumb and they've never been the employee I wanted them to be. They never have showed up the way I thought that they would, right? Like it's so easy to do that. And some of those things are probably true, but how are you leading? You're the leader. How are you leading and facilitating this team being the best that they can? They're depending on you to do that because they just had a baby and they're tired. They're going through a divorce. They're exhausted. They've never been a great employee and they're hoping that a leader will help get them there. That's your job. That's your role. And so, a lot of our leadership training skips this piece because it is uncomfortable and because it means that you actually have to take real ownership in how your team shows up. And that's hard. That is not the easy way out. And it's a conversation that a lot of leaders are not having. And I think it's a missing piece that is dictating poor performance and poor results more than we care to admit. What separates you as a leader that produces a resilient team from ones that are always managing the drama and the disengagement is that self reflective part, is the ownership of how am I showing up and how is that creating the team that isn't as resilient and adaptable as I want it to be. You cannot model stability when you yourself are not stable, when you're running on fumes, when you're exhausted, when you're grumpy, when you're showing up, in a bad mood. It's not possible for you to model stability when you are not stable yourself. Your team knows it, even though I know they're not going to say it to your face, even though I know they're just going to be keeping that to themselves. So, how can you improve this? Just 10%, right? Just 10% better. Before your next team interaction, and with a team member, so that could be a team meeting, a one-on-one, even a Slack message, whatever that may be. I want you to take 60 seconds. And I don't want you to prep your conversation. I don't want you to rehearse the words that you're going to say. I don't want you to think about how they might respond. I want you to check in on you. I want you to check in on you. I do this before all of my client calls. I do this before every consultation that I have. I do this before every live. I check in with me. It doesn't take more than 60 seconds, but how am I showing up, right? I was up until 2:30 this morning. I am tired. I am exhausted. My son is doing chores and it's the summertime and he's not excited about that. But I knew I wanted to come on here and deliver a message that was powerful. And I needed to check in with me. How am I feeling? How am I showing up? Who do I want to be on this live so that it can be valuable to my team? You guys are part of my team. You just didn't know it. How can I be valuable in the delivery of my message out into the world? And I check in with myself. Ask yourself, am I dysregulated? Am I rushing? Am I anxious about something that has nothing to do with the situation? Am I in the right headspace for my tone and my body language and my intonation to deliver the way I want to deliver? Is who I'm showing up as right now matching with my intention? 60 seconds. If you are feeling anxious or rushed or overwhelmed or not showing up the way you want to show up, do a few deep breaths, take a beat, take a short little break. It doesn't have to be intense. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute kumbaya session. 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Get yourself in a grounded space where you know you can show up well. Okay. You're not doing this for you. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, this is selfish and you are doing this for you because you want your teams to do better and be better, but you're doing it for them. You're doing it because the second that you walk into that room, your team is calibrating to you. They are adjusting to how you walk in. So give them something worth calibrating to. Give them something worth matching. Give them energy that you want to see. Should lead by example. Be that person first. Let them see how it's done. They want to learn from you. They want to grow and improve. Okay. Your team's resilience is your problem. It is a reflection of your leadership. And here's the great thing about this. I know that probably feels like a lot of responsibility, but it's good news because it means you can fix it. It means you've been in charge the whole time. It means it's on your shoulders to address, whether that's growth, learning, doing the tips that I'm sharing, hiring a coach to help you get through it, getting feedback from the team on what it's really like on the other side of you. It's fixable because it's on your shoulders already. So if you are a tired leader, if you're showing up not how you would want your team to show up, this is exactly the kind of work that I do. Please reach out to me. Let me know. info@amycapello.com or just go to my website, amycapello.com. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a framework that I use with executive leaders to build resilience. Three pillars. It's totally practical. I'm excited to see you then. Please reach out to me. Let me know what you are experiencing that I'm talking about. If you are implementing any of these strategies that I'm sharing, please, for the love of God, let me know. I want to hear how it's going. I may even have another tip or two that I can give you to refine it and make it better. Let's keep this conversation going. I will check in with you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you then if I don't hear from you before. Have a good one.